welcome to the video. Have you ever thought about marketing? Have you ever thought about how do you want to brand yourself? How do you want to make yourself look interesting? What kind of style do you want? How do you want people to think about your channel? How do you want to get it out there that your channel is something worth thinking about, right? And that's where marketing comes in. It's this idea that you're going to do business, you're going to work with people. You might envision it as some sort of a collaborative thing with lots of people sitting around a table. But ultimately, if you're going to be working on your own channel by yourself, you got to market by yourself. And that's something really scary. So there's a couple things you can do, or at least I'm going to share what I do to market my videos. And hopefully you guys will do the same. Or at the very least, if not the same, try something of your own in your own space based on your niche. That will make you feel more original and more kind of at one with your own brand, right? So my brand is black and white, right? That's the colors of the channel. I got the wolf logo because my first dog was a black dog and I loved her very much. Unfortunately, she's not with us anymore, but it's important to understand that, you know, there's small things in life that can make a big impact in the way you present yourself, right? I always like to, you know, look at both sides of it, you know, the black issue and the white issue. You know what I mean? Like there's the good and the bad to every little moment of it. And you don't want to put yourself into a corner where you feel like you can't express yourself or you can't branch out to new ideas, right? So when I market, right, what I'll do is I'll post YouTube videos on spaces where that is okay. Now, you don't want to market or share links of your videos just on any old video or any old thing. You got to make sure whatever you're sharing, it's related to whatever you're sharing on. Like I've joined some Facebook groups of like small YouTube channels where I get to show off and display my videos to large numbers of people. Even if they don't click on it, even if they don't look at it, it's still a method of marketing. You know, I post on my Discord. I update every time a video gets released, update my Discord. Go check out my Discord if you want. The link is going to be in the description below. And I think it's interesting that more people don't think about different ways of advertising, because I do know there was an experiment done where Devin Nash wanted to try and see if people would be able to make really big TikToks and see if you could move that over onto Twitch. And what he found is that most people on TikTok who would maybe like your stuff, maybe got billion views, it doesn't come to Twitch. It doesn't move. So you got to think about how easy is it for your content to transcend YouTube and go onto other spaces of the platform, right? There is this idea that if you work really hard and you're making really good videos, people will just find you on your own. But that's not true. The truth of the matter is you got to be able to talk the talk, walk the walk. You got to get yourself out there and make sure that your voice is heard, right? So oftentimes, like I said, I really love the community tab. I don't have one still at the time of making this, but eventually when I do get it, I'll be using that every single day to communicate to you guys things that might help me for ideas for new videos to come up with or things to talk about that I've personally experienced. I do have a couple stories I do want to be able to share with you guys, and I would hope that you guys would want to hear those as well. It's really important to be able to share videos and express yourself and do something different and unique, something that's out of the ordinary, something that nobody really thinks about and nobody really even necessarily wants to think about. Like if you want to market yourself and you look at your brand and you're like, okay, my brand, maybe it's like a picture of a pigeon, right? So like maybe I want to join some pigeon hobby groups or something, or maybe it's your videos are all about outdoors. Maybe you want to join like outdoorsy groups that could talk about it. It's really kind of up to you to feel like you're going to be lying to yourself, right? If you make something and you think to yourself, I'm not so sure this is a good idea, you should think about, well, is this not a good idea because I'm thinking it's not a good idea, or is it not a good idea because somebody told me it's not a good idea? You shouldn't try and base your ideas for where you want to present yourself on what other people tell you to do, because oftentimes what other people are telling you to do is something that works for them. But as I've said multiple times in multiple videos, you got to do what works for you. Every channel grows differently. There's no one set way. You could be a tiny little niche that's just focused on collecting rare coins, right? Like this coin. I don't even know where it's from, but I got it when I traveled internationally. And you know what? You just kind of find ways to insert yourself into whatever video you're making. Like there, I just referenced the fact that I traveled internationally just to make a point about doing something unique, right? There's all these layers, right, that go into the planning and the way you want to think about yourself. So if you want to market and you want to market something that both feels original and feels something that could be relatable or familiar, just take from your own life. Shoot, I mean, most people who are watching this video probably already have something in their life that they are really passionate about, and like they think about it and they're like, yes, I want to do this, or yes, I think this is important for continuing my future on making content that is great content. So how would you go about doing that? You could like I was mentioning earlier, you could join a group, but you could also go out of your way to try and collaborate. Collaboration is a form of marketing that I think people don't really seem to talk about. Now, I know I talked about a collaboration channel earlier in another video. Feel free to check that out. But there is also this idea that just by interacting with other people, you'll come up with more ideas. You'll come up with things that you wouldn't think of that could inspire you to make new videos or to change how you want to present your videos. Or maybe you think of new editing techniques. I don't really like editing very much. The fact that this video has an edit in it, the cut from earlier, it's really disappointing. It's just because life happens, things get in the way. Sometimes you have to do some editing. But I think that even if you have no skill at editing at all, like me, like I really don't, and you just want to just kind of make whatever and do whatever, that should be okay. Now, you got to make your video clickable. You got to make sure that when you present the video to everybody, people want to watch it. Like for me, what do I want to watch when I go on YouTube? Well, I tend to watch gameplay. I like to watch other creators talking about advice for YouTube channels. So I bet you if you watch my videos, you'll start to get recommended things that are also related to this idea of videos being recommended, you know, or like how to grow your channel. How to grow your channel is such a common phrase, and I'm really trying hard not to put that in any of the titles of my videos because it is so general and so broad that you if you look at a video, they'll all talk about the same things, but they might do it in different ways, and it could be really confusing to a new person. And I just don't want you to go out there and follow every single advice guide, every single tip, and then realizing that whatever you're making isn't actually something you want to make, or the style you do it isn't actually you. Now, maybe it is. Maybe what you are making right now is what you want to do, and that's wonderful. That's great. And you're saying, but hey, how do you still market yourself? How do you make yourself more advertisable? Well, you got to find good backgrounds, and you got to find, again, like I said earlier, the style that you want. Like, I wouldn't want to make my videos so called techie and sci-fi, right? Because that's not really what it's about. I try and use open colors. I try and use general colors that make it so that way the text on my thumbnail is readable, and make sure that my expressions, because I wear white and black, I try not to use any white and black in any of my thumbnails when possible. I use gray. I can use gray, but I don't use other ones. So you kind of just got to figure out exactly what you want to do that'll fit your scheme as well. Another cut. Gotta love those cuts, right? I love being self-aware. That's something that you'll find, I think, as you watch more of my videos. In my personality, I love commenting on moments where things are changed and things are different. This is going to be the first video I ever made of this style with 2 cuts that would even need 2 cuts. Why? Because, again, life happens, and you got to take care of stuff in the real world, right? You got, you know, stuff going on in your house, your life, and you got to just cut it up. So if you want to market yourself in a way that makes you feel like yourself, think about what you would want to click on and make that into your video. And then when you do that, make sure that what you look at is going to be good at the smallest level. Look at how it would appear on your phone and say, could I view this on my phone? If I saw this on my phone, would I want to see it? Because you can design a thumbnail to be as intricate and detailed as possible on the really big computer monitor, but most people watch YouTube on their phones now. And if your thumbnail doesn't look good on a little tiny phone size, probably not going to get clicks. If your thumbnail is if your title is too long and people can't read the whole thing because, again, the phone thing cuts it off, then people aren't going to watch your video. They're not going to get the full context, and people won't show up. That'll be super disappointing to know that you're making something and the video could be great. The video could be absolutely amazing. I know people talk about this idea that, like, you can make a great video, but then people won't watch it because you're not clickable. So how do we market it? You know what you could do, to be honest, depending on your community, you could even make flyers and just post them on boards. Like if you're on a college campus right now and you have like a community area, just like make a poster, be like, boom, I have a YouTube channel. It's about this. This is the kind of demographics it relates to. If you feel like you can relate to this, or you want to be a part of this community, go show up. Community is so important. I want to talk about community in every single video that I make, because community to me is the most important thing about making a YouTube channel and being great at YouTube, is making a community of people, of not necessarily like-minded people, but a community of people who can relate to your video and have shared experiences through that. I think that's so, so important. And I can't emphasize enough how valuable it is to be able to be a part of such an experience where you are able to be in a space where all the discussion is about a video that everyone is relating to, that everyone is enjoying. And that, I think, is the truly most important thing. Anyway, guys, I'm Elwirfy, and I'll definitely be seeing you guys next time. Take care, everyone.